Hey guys, welcome back to another episode from Quickfreeze's Game Room. Today is going to be episode 10 of Quickfreeze Versus, and today I'm going to be playing an NES game based on one of the most powerful superheroes in the Marvel Universe, and that is Silver Surfer. Now, the Silver Surfer was created by Jack Kirby in 1966, and he first appeared in a 3-issue arc that fans like to call the Galactus Trilogy, which started with the issue Fantastic Four number 48. Now, the Silver Surfer has a lot of different cosmic powers, which he dubs the Power Cosmic, and these cosmic powers grant him different abilities, such as superhero strength, super stamina, durability, and the ability to absorb and manipulate the universe's energy for different effects. Now, the Silver Surfer can also travel through interstellar space, dimensional barriers, and even hyperspace, which he can also exceed the speed of light, which he can use to sometimes travel back in time. Now, the Silver Surfer can also convert matter into energy, which means he does not require food, water, air, or sleep, and he can also survive in any natural environment, including a black hole. He can also project energy in different forms, both offensive and defensive, including force fields, bolts of cosmic energies, and the power to destroy entire planets. Now, the Silver Surfer can also heal any living being, but he cannot bring them back from death. Now, the Silver Surfer's board is composed of the same silvery material as the Silver Surfer's skin. The board is mentally linked with the Silver Surfer and will respond to any mental command given by the Surfer, even though it does not require any physical contact. The board is nearly indestructible and is capable of absorbing and imprisoning any living being, but only temporary. So that is a lot of powers for one being. But the Silver Surfer wasn't always a powerful cosmic being. He was originally known as Norrin Radd, a young astronomer from the planet Zen-La. Now, he was a happy, any-go-lucky guy, just like anyone else, like you or me, until one day the powerful Galactus appeared over the sky of Zen-La. Now, Galactus is a being that needs to feed on planets to survive. He's not good or evil, he just devours planets so he can survive. Now, Norrin Radd, being that he wanted to save his own planet, pleaded with the powerful Galactus, offering to serve as his herald in order to save his own homeworld from destruction. Now, Galactus agreed and fused Norrin Radd with a tiny portion of Galactus's power cosmic, turning him into the Silver Surfer. Now, with these new powers, the Silver Surfer roamed the cosmos, searching out new planets for Galactus to consume, until he finally came to a planet called Earth, and coming face to face with the superhero team, the Fantastic Four. Now, the Fantastic Four helped the Silver Surfer rediscover his knowability by showing him how beautiful the Earth was and the different living creatures that inhabit it. Now, the planet Earth reminded the Silver Surfer of his own planet Zen-La, and he wanted to protect it. So the Silver Surfer ended up betraying Galactus, stating that he would protect the Earth and its people. So Galactus agreed not to destroy the Earth, but as punishment, the Silver Surfer was exiled on Earth, unable to return to his own planet Zen-La. Okay guys, that is a brief background on Silver Surfer's history and his different powers. But let's get started and play Silver Surfer for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, if you guys have seen my videos before, you guys know the rules and stuff, but if you haven't, I'll explain them again. This game has continues, so I am allowing myself 10 continues to complete this game. If I have to go over 10 continues for any reason, then I've failed to beat Silver Surfer for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So, like I said before, let's get started and let's see how I play. Alright guys, this is the Silver Surfer for the Nintendo Entertainment System. We are greeted here by the title screen with none other than the Silver Surfer himself. Now the story of this game is kinda basic and lame. Basically you were summoned by Galactus because an evil force is threatening the galaxy. Now you as the Silver Surfer is kinda reluctant to follow Galactus' orders because you are his slave. But Galactus basically tells you if you don't stop this evil threat that's destroying the universe, all life is doomed. So you as the Silver Surfer, it's up to you to protect the galaxy. Now once you get in the game, you get to choose 5 different worlds to play. This is much like the Mega Man games where you get to pick what robot master you want to fight. So let's pick Reptile and see what the game has to offer. Now the first thing you're going to notice, this is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up game, much like Death Smiles or R-Type. And as you can see, one hit and you are dead. The controls in this game are pretty basic. You got your up, down, left, and right, and a single shoot button. But let me tell you about this shoot button. You're going to get very tired very quickly because you have to keep pressing this button every time you want to shoot a bullet. You can't just hold down the button and it'll rapidly fire. So if you guys attempt to play this game, I recommend you getting an NES Advantage or an NES Max because it's going to help a lot. Now as you just saw, I don't recommend staying on one side of the screen. It's best to stay in the middle because you don't know where enemies are coming from. They can come from above, they can come from below, left, right, you have no idea. So try to stay in the middle of the screen as much as possible. Now you'll notice every time I die, I start at the beginning of the stage. You don't start exactly where you died, like in R-Type, Death Smiles, or any other shoot-'em-up game. Now, by this time, my finger is getting extremely tired because I'm continuously shooting the shoot button to press forward. So, this game so far, I've only been playing it for about 3 minutes, and I'm already tired of this level. My finger's getting tired. You know, the enemies are getting, quite powerful, they're getting faster, stuff like that. But as you play through the game more and more, you learn the different patterns of the game. You don't exactly have to kill everything, you can move up and dodge the different fish, you can go up and get behind them, stuff like that. So, like I said, the more you play the level, the more you're going to learn the different patterns of the enemies, just like any other shoot-'em-up game. But the constant pressing of the button really takes its toll on you very quickly. Now I mentioned the controls, the weapons, and the deadly enemies, but there's another deadly thing in this game, and that's the environment. If you touch a single pixel, you will die. So not only do you have to keep fighting all these different enemies that are obviously more powerful than you are, you have to dodge the environment itself. And this is very, very hard as well, because the enemies are fast and you move extremely slow. Plus, like I said before, you keep hitting that fire button until you finally get game over. So once you lose all your lives, you go back to the World Select screen. Let's try Mephisto. Maybe he's a little bit easier than Reptile. Now this is another side-scrolling shoot-'em-up level, just like Reptile's world, and you'll notice that the enemies are different. These ones more look like ghosts, so this is kind of like a Castlevania shoot-'em-up level, which is, works for me. But as you can tell, the enemies are completely random in their patterns. They do have a certain pattern, but you have to learn them very quickly. Now, so far playing this, I think the main problem with this game is that the enemies move extremely fast and you yourself move extremely slow, which is kind of like not really the Silver Surfer at all. If you ever read the Silver Surfer comics at all, he's a very powerful being, and in this game, he's not powerful at all. I know it's just like R-Type and games like that, you know, you take one hit and you die, but come on, this is Silver Surfer. He is the power cosmic. Are you telling me that the Silver Surfer can be brought down by ghosts? Well, there you go. I guess he can. Once again, we're back to the world select screen. This time let's try Firelord. Hopefully he's a little more easier than the other two, but we'll see. Now, in this level, you're presented with a top-down view, or a bird's-eye view, much like Galaga or Ikaruga. But as you can see, the enemies are still extremely fast, and they can kill you with one hit. Now, you're going to have to persevere and keep pressing that fire button as quickly as possible, because sometimes it could save your life. Now, as you can see, I'm only staying on the orange parts because, as you can see, the gray stuff will kill you. That's like your walls or boundary. You're not allowed to go over them. So this level already cuts down maybe about 2/3 of the entire screen. Now, you're going to have to gain precise movement and quickly, because like I said before, you can only stay over the orange parts of this stage. You're going to have to learn the different maneuvers of the enemies. You're going to have to keep pressing the fire button as quickly as possible. So that's my advice. But I also say, you know, just take your time and learn everything. But even if you do that, the enemies are going to come in and take up most of the orange area. So that also limits your movement down to maybe about 20 to 10%. It's not very fair. But if you can make it to a certain point within the level, there are checkpoints in this game. Not many, but there are. So here we are. Let's try the Emperor stage. Maybe it's a little bit easier, but as you can tell, that seems very unlikely. Now again, this is another top-down view, which is fine, but unlike Firelord stage, you have a lot more area to move around in. Now, unlike Firelord stage, you are given a lot more room to move around, and the enemies don't fly in at you, except for the bullets that they fire. And I'll tell you right now, these bullets are very hard to see, especially the little dot projectiles. So again, just like any other stage, learn the different patterns, learn where the enemies are, and just try to persevere. I know it's tough, and at this point myself, I'm getting extremely annoyed at this game. It's a very hard game, as you can already tell. Okay, we got one more world left, and this is the Possessor. Now, I've only been showing you guys a little bit of each world because, like I've already said before, this game is extremely hard. But the reason I'm mentioning this right now is because each world has 3 different sections in it. So, where right here, the Possessor, you got a 2D side-scrolling level, where maybe like section 2, maybe like a top-down view. So they do vary in different playing style. Now, just like every other stage in this game, the enemies come extremely fast, they shoot very quick projectiles, and you can't touch anything in your environment. That includes the floor, the ceiling, or even these little statues that may seem harmless. Now, I've been repeating myself quite a bit throughout this entire episode. That's because there's not really that much to say about this game. It's one of the hardest games I've ever played in my entire life, and it's one of the hardest Nintendo games I've ever seen. So, to give you kind of like just a quick breakdown of all my different thoughts about this game, you move extremely slow, your enemies move extremely fast. You being the Silver Surfer, one of the most powerful beings in the universe, and you can simply die by that little rubber duck up there. You know, you're that weak. See? I just died by the little rubber duck. And the constant button pushing of the fire button really takes its toll on you. After about 3 minutes, I was getting tired myself. So, as I said before, if you're really gonna play this game, use it with an NES Max or an NES Advantage. But I really don't recommend this game at all, just because of the pure difficulty of the game. That's it, guys. I just wanted to say I was unable to beat or even get past the first level of Silver Surfer on the original Entertainment System. Okay, guys, as you just saw, I was unable to beat Silver Surfer for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And as I said many times throughout the gameplay, this game is just simply way too hard. Now, what makes this game way too hard is that you move incredibly slow, where your enemies move extremely fast. And even though you are one of the most powerful superheroes in the Marvel Universe, one hit and you're dead. And you don't just die by enemies, but you also die by the environment itself. But probably the most tiring and the most annoying aspect about this game is the constant button pushing that you're going to have to keep doing for the fire button. And that's why I suggested that you guys play with either the NES Max or the NES Advantage. So, do I recommend this game to anybody? Honestly, I do not. Unless you guys want to play one of the most hardest shoot 'em up games there is out there. And this is one of the most hardest shoot 'em up games out there. Okay, guys, so that is episode 10 of Quickfreeze Versus. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. As always, I will post a list of all my superhero games that I own. So if you guys want to request a superhero game, please do so by leaving a comment below. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe if you enjoyed my video. And I'm just going to end by saying I'm Quickfreeze from Quickfreeze's Game Room, and I'm here to bring gamers together, one game at a time.